priorities are in life. For example, um, so for example, Aries is focused on their passions, their self, their desires, but they also can be very caring, depending on other combinations like their moon sign, their Mercury sign, their Venus sign, their ascendant sign. You got Taurus is more focused on the friend groups, love and money, relationships, finer things in life. You got Gemini, the third zodiac sign. That one really is focused on talking, communication, intellect. They're pretty intelligent people. They're pretty abstract people. They like to think outside the box. Pretty cool. Pretty lit people. Cancer, you got they're family people. They're like the past, home, and family oriented. So with these four signs, you can see a similarity of like each progressively getting more outgoing, more caring, more other oriented. For example, Aries starts with self, then 2 it focuses on friendships, 3 it focuses on communication, 4 it focuses on family, so it broadens out. 5 is Leo. They like to express themselves, pretty outgoing, strong confidence, sometimes over positive. They're very confident. Negative, they can be ego. The ego can sometimes get to them, but they're generous people. They're really nice, and they give a lot. They're caring. They're good. Usually, Leo dads are usually pretty good. Not always, but they're usually pretty good. Virgo, small talk, communication. They like to engage with people. They're pretty job oriented, pretty detail oriented. They're pretty communicative. They're good communicators. And they're pretty good communicators, and they kind of conflict with Gemini, and we'll talk about it later in the video. But that's the first 6. Then you got the Libra. Libra is interpersonal, one-on-one. They're the friendship sign, I say. They're pretty friendly. They're good people to be around. Their confidence comes from, instead of Aries, they're the opposite of Aries, right? So Aries is self, right? Independence. Libra is the exact opposite. Other person, one-on-one. I need this person's awesome. That's Libra. I want to take care of this person. I'm other oriented, the exact opposite of Aries. Scorpio is similar to Libra in the fact that one-on-one, but Scorpio is a water sign, which means emotions. So they dive deeper into how the other person's feeling, not just from the surface, but they're deep and emotional with people. So they're pretty caring. Can be pretty chaotic at times because they don't know how to handle their emotions. But overall, they're pretty lit people, pretty awesome people. Sagittarius like to learn new things and travel. They're optimistic. They're one of the most optimistic signs. It's a pretty masculine sign, pretty domineering sign. So a guy who has this is pretty entrepreneurial, pretty dominant, sometimes a little overly dominant. And then girls who have this is sometimes can be feminine, but are sometimes really dominant and like confident in themselves, which is a good thing. Capricorn, they care about their reputation. They're restrictive. They're orderly. They want to be well known. They're the most reputable sign. Even the people that aren't famous are Capricorn. They're almost always well known. They're always meeting new people. They're always outgoing. They're always trying to meet new people and ensure that they're known and get known out there. So they're a pretty cool sign. 2, Aquarius, they're the humanitarian. They care more about society as a whole than their reputation. And they're opposite of Leo, so their ego, they don't have as much ego as Leo, and they're not as warm but they're also not as warm and generous as Leo. But deep down, they care about everyone, and they're very impartial. They try to be the voice of reason in life. They're pretty cool, but they're distant sometimes and less emotional. Then you got Pisces. Pisces is like the sympathetic sign, self-sacrifice, self-isolation. They're like the most caring sign out of the entire zodiac, most mature. But a lot of times people don't see it that way because of how mature they are. They appear immature, which is kind of ironic. But so those are the 12 zodiac signs, and what they basically mean, and then the basics of that, and then the sun sign basically what the sun sign means is how one expresses themselves and their confidence level. So when you apply the two, you just got to think of this way, like Aries expressing themselves by following their passions, what they're passionate about. Ruled by Mars, it's passion. I'm gonna do what I'm passionate about. I got to be confident. I got to do what I care about. And I'm not opposed to helping people, but I help people after I try to get my passions. It's which can sometimes be harsh, but they can also still be really caring people. Taurus, they're more about the friendships, ruled by Venus, love and money, friendships. So they don't really care as much about their passions, but they're still dedicated for their goals, and they're very organized. Where Aries just, I'm gonna do what I do. Taurus is like, I'm going to plan this out, write this all down, and it has to be this certain way. It has to be this schedule. It can't be impulsive. I can't just do something. I have to write it down. I have to think about it. I have to really plan before I do something. They're really focused on their friendships. It's really important to them. Gemini also is friendships, but it's more not Taurus. I don't want to say that they have like a group, but they have a group basically. They're like a group dynamic. They have their squad. They have their lit squad, and they're nice and they'll let people into their squad, but they're very reserved at first. So you have to warm up to them. Whereas Gemini is also about friendships, but they're like talking to everyone. Not as outgoing as Aquarius, another air sign, but they're talking to everyone. They just want to share their opinion and get their opinion out. And they feel like if they don't share their opinion, they're kind of like they're not confident in themselves if they don't share their opinion. Cancer, they need to express themselves to their family, and their confidence comes from their family. So they are very family oriented, even if it might be rocky sometimes. It just depends on personal situations, but they want to have a family. They want to take care of someone. That's really important to them. So they're pretty good caretakers 90% of the time. Not always, but most of the time, they're pretty good caretakers. Leos, they express themselves through their confidence. Like I said, Leo is actually the main planet of the sun. So it's in what we call a comfort house. So sun in Leo is the sun in its own place. So it's like it's at home, kind of, if your sun's in Leo, meaning it's the second best place, subjectively the second best place to have your sun sign, other than Aries. So that's a pretty good sign to have it in, because it sells ego and self-confidence and ability to express yourself. Virgo, confidence in small talk, job, working hard, discipline. Also, what's Libra? You rely on your friends, one-on-one friendship. They're not like Aquarius, whereas everyone, I try to get confidence from other people to boost me up. Libras, I just need this one-on-one confidence. This person, I care about this person, and I care about this person. It's like interpersonal. Then Aquarius. Scorpio, same interpersonal sign, meaning one-on-one. Basically Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, and Leo are all interpersonal, meaning they're very one-on-one people. Then you got the personal signs, Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, more individualistic, again, like the more self-oriented signs. Then you got 9, 10, 11, 12, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces. They're universal signs, meaning open to everyone, and the most really outgoing signs. So those are all the basics of astrology. I hope you enjoyed this video. One last thing, Aries, the sun, some people say it can relate to your relationship with, this planets can relate to your relationship with your parents. Is that accurate? Couldn't tell you. But I'd say it's sometimes kind of weirdly accurate. Like Aries, relationship with dad is good because it gives you confidence, but there might be a lot of like challenging each other, a lot of competitiveness, and or you might be less close with your dad. Whereas Taurus, you usually are pretty good friends with your dad, but I know a lot of Tauruses that do not don't know their dad. So yeah, you might be one of those Tauruses, but either way, typically Taurus's relationship with their father makes them desire a friend group. In a way, Gemini, air sign, meaning relying on the other people, all their air signs, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, they all kind of the opposite of fire signs, meaning fire, confidence, energy, passion, air, humanitarian, communicative, outgoing, wants validation from people. So air, that's air signs. So that's Gemini. It's the most personal sign of the air signs. So they don't need validation as much as like Aquarius. Aquarius is like, I care what everyone thinks, or I want to be good to every single person. It makes them kind of shy because they don't want to let people know what they're doing. They just kind of want to do their thing and not have people really know what they're doing unless they are deciding to open up to people. So that's that. Taurus relationship with the Gemini's relationship. So the father might hurt their confidence a little, and then that causes them to want to express their opinions more outgoingly. And also, this is just the basics, so it also matters where your sun sign's place, what house it is. We will talk about that later in the series, probably, hopefully. And that tells a lot too, because just because you have an Aries sun, you have to look at what your Mars sign's in, because Mars is the ruler of the sign Aries. Each sign has a planet ruler. So Mars is a planet ruler of Aries and Scorpio. So you have to look at where your Mars is to see what kind of Aries you are. And you have to look at all the other signs like that. So you have to see what your Mars sign, your Moon sign, your Venus sign, your Mercury sign, all those play an aspect, and how your sun relates to your moon also matters. So if like sun trine moon, your sun, your confidence, your ego, expression supports your comfort. You're more comfortable when you express yourself. Whereas, and you're all vice versa, when you're more comfortable, you're going to express yourself and be more confident. Whereas some people might have conflictings. And that's another thing. We'll talk about aspects in maybe another video. So, father relationships, Cancer, they're actually pretty good with the relationship with their father, because water sign is emotions, and Cancer is that. So usually what you see is either a good relationship with father or a really good relationship with mother, because Cancer is the sign of moon, and moon relates to mother. So usually Cancer likes their father and gets along with their father most of the time. And that makes them more homebodies, and they might take on traits of their father more often than like someone like Aries, whose traits are probably pretty different. Even though they respect and love their father, maybe they might be very different, and that's okay. But they'll still get along with their father, even though it's more like a competitive relationship. Leo, good relationship with father too. Father also might not be around in this relationship, but it's more as compared to Aries. Aries is more like competitive, and I'm going to differentiate from my father. Whereas Leo, even though their father's not around, it's almost like they're a lot like their father in a way. Whereas Aries is not, even though it's a fire sign, it's not as much. Virgo, it's almost like a working relationship, and that instills with their dad. It's like Virgo's a sign is, I want to do something for you and you do something for me. So that's kind of the relationship they might have with their dad, maybe and maybe not. So it's like kind of like almost like a job, but not really but it's also an earth sign, so it's like a caring relationship. Libra, one of the closest probably signs usually with their dad, not always, but probably the most closest. But also the weakest sun sign. So it's like a catch-22. Libra is very close, but so close that it hurts their confidence. It's weird. It's like they don't get challenged enough, so they might, they want to make friendships, and so they might gain more confidence from one-on-one friendships. Positively, this is a good thing because they're really friendly people. good people. Just they might need those one-on-one friendships a lot, because whereas Aries might be like not rely as much on, because they're opposite signs. Scorpio, pretty rough probably relationship, because Scorpios are a very rough emotional sign, but not always. It could mean a deep emotional connection with father, either one or the other. But yeah, it's pretty rough if you're Scorpio. Yeah, but not always. Scorpios are G's. Sagittarius, really close, good father, good bond. They might look at their father like as a mentor, as a very wise person, and then they go out in life as a very wise person who likes to learn and travel and philosophize and give advice. And sometimes their advice is good, sometimes their advice is bad, just like everyone's. So there's that. Capricorn, they're very restrictive and care about their reputation. So maybe they're with their relationship with the father might have been like a rule setter, been like, hey, you got to do this, you got to do that. Very like boss oriented, like kind of like their father's like their job boss almost. Another earth sign, so that makes sense. But also very closer than Aries probably, but not as close as Libra, and not as close as Cancer with their dads. Aquarius is since they're opposite of sign of Leo, the relationship with father might be like, they want to seek their validation, because and that's why they seek the world validation from the world. They want to seek the validation from the father, but they might not feel like they get enough validation all the time. But it's still, they really want to, they love their father, and they're pretty lit people. Pretty lit people. Pisces is maybe like an absent, they might not know their father super well, but they're pretty lit people. They're pretty, because of this, they might be self-conscious a little bit more, loners, but they're also empathetic and very caring. So they're pretty lit. They're cool. So yeah, am I missing anything? And you might be confused when I say like opposites signs. Each sign has aspects to each other, and so there's opposites, squares, trines, and sextiles. And basically what that means is a sextile is just like, hey broski, I support you, aspect between two. This happens between fire and air signs, like Aries, Taurus, Sagittarius, and Gemini, Aquarius, Libra. Gemini to Aries, sextile, but it's usually one-sided. It's the air signs to the fire signs, but not really the fire signs to the air signs. The fire signs support the air signs, and it's not like the fire signs don't. The air signs support the fire signs, but it's not like the fire signs don't support them. It's more the air signs support them more than the fire signs, whereas trines are like fire sign supports fire sign, and fire sign supports the back, kind of in a way. Opposites, they know they say opposites attract. Usually this is not a good combination between two people, but sometimes there's a pool that they almost like need each other in a way. Kind of pretty wholesome. But it's like you need each other. It's like tag team, duo, because they're so different. Squares are pretty tough. Also, like, they need each other kind of, because you need someone to challenge you in life. Cancers usually see Aries as more selfish, and which isn't always wrong. Aries see Capricorn as more too restrictive, they care too much about their reputation, not being genuine about who they are. Capricorn seeing Libras as too push oriented, maybe too one-on-one, and then they feel this closeness might ruin their reputation overall. Libras see Cancers as too not open enough, too much a homebody. They can't reach them, too emotion based, because Libra is the sign of friendship, diplomacy, so actually they're pretty good at keeping emotions out of situations. So those are all the squares, opposites, Aries and Libra, Cancer and Capricorn. Those four are all cardinal signs. meaning they're important in the zodiac because they initiate things. Aries initiates, hey, I want to do something, I'm going to start it. Libra initiates, I want a new friendship, I'm going to start it. Cancer initiates, I want to help my family, I want to build a family, I want to get a wife, I'm going to start it. Capricorn's like, I want to be well known, I want to do my thing, I want to start a business, I want to be lit. Then I start it. Then you got fixed signs. These people don't start things as much, they wait for the cardinal signs to start things. That's Taurus, Aquarius, Leo, Scorpio, and they all also conflict with each other. Aquarius and Leo, opposites. Aquarius, humanitarian, emotionally distant, caring. Leo, ego, generous, charismatic, attract each other. Don't get along always, but attraction kind of there. Leo sees Taurus as like a squad type person. They seem like it's hard to reach them. They're like, why can't I talk to you one-on-one? And Taurus is like, I got my squad, I got my homies. Sorry, G. But you can be my homie, maybe. Something like that. Taurus sees Aquarius as too outgoing, and they're like, whoa, you're kind of invading my squad, invading my group. I like my group. I like to be reserved. What are you doing? Aquarius is like, because they're so emotional, Scorpios can be chaotic and kind of cause a lot of chaos just because they let their emotions get the best of them. So Aquarius might see being the humanitarian, the caretaker of all society, trying to be like the good guy, you know. They might see Scorpio as like, you gotta calm down, bro. You're freaking out, being too emotional. And Scorpio might see Aries are like to kind of be reserved and keep their emotions to themselves, because if they let them out, they kind of might explode. So they see Aries as being too blunt. Aries is, I'm gonna talk to you one-on-one. And Scorpio doesn't like that because it's like, I don't want to share everything about myself. I kind of want to be. So that is a confliction between Scorpio and Leo. And those are all the fixed signs, also known as the stabilizers of the zodiac. They're like the people that build the foundations. Then you got the final one. Why am I forgetting? Blanking. The mutable signs. This is a pretty interesting sign because it's like initiator. They could be initiators when they need to, but they can also be stabilizers, and they're kind of like really cool in that regard. Gemini's like, I don't care if I initiate or I join in, but I need to get my opinion out there. I need to talk, make friends, be lit. Virgo is like, I don't care how I do it, but I need to make money. I need to get a job. I need to help people out. I need to treat people the way they treat me. But I also need to hold people accountable. If I help them, they have to help me back. They're like the job type people. They're like the foundation of almost like the workforce kind of. They're like, I'm gonna do this for you, but I kind of want you to pay me back. And they're like, they're like the job force almost in a way. And all our signs are kind of like that. Sagittarius is like the knowledge guy, pretty smart. They just want to learn. The opposite of Gemini, who just wants to be like, I want to share my opinion, the abstract ideas. Sagittarius is more like, I want to share facts, not like opinions, not like this. I'm giving out Gemini energy. I'm not sharing facts. I'm sharing kind of opinion stuff. They're facts, but they're abstract. Whereas Sagittarius is like, I want to share facts if I'm going to share anything, and I want to share, or at least I want to share my truth. It might not be the truth, but they think the things they share are exactly like the truth. Whereas Geminis are more like, I know what I'm saying might not be 100%, but I'm gonna share it. And then finally, Pisces is like, I don't need to initiate, or I don't care if I have to initiate, or be fixed in like a certain way, but I need to care for other people. I need to be emotionally supportive, not just humanitarian like Aquarius. I need to get into like the emotional depth and really care about people. And if that requires me to go out, be outgoing, so be it. If that requires me to not be outgoing and wait for them to come to me, so be it. But usually Pisces are really shy, so usually they won't. they'll almost like live in their own self-destruction until someone like a Cancer or the caretaker comes and helps them out, almost in the way. Or Taurus, the stabilizer, the friend group, the peacemaker, right? I forgot to mention that, but Taurus is like not just friend group, they're like, they want peace. Whereas the opposite, Taurus, Scorpio kind of wants chaos because they thrive off chaos, because they need some emotion in their life. They can't have everything so bland. They need some spice. They need some drama. They need some crazy stuff going on. If they don't, they'll freak out. They'll have like a freak out session, sort of. I don't know. So, yeah, I think that's a lot. So that's a lot what I said today. But that's the basics you need to know. So, recap, just a quick recap. I'm sorry I've kept it here so long. You got cardinal signs, fixed signs, mutable signs, the basics. Cardinal, initiate. Fixed, stabilize. Mutable, fix or stabilize. Just get involved with the other signs. Sun sign, I'm how I express myself. Also, how I get my confidence. Relationship with father, how, and then this kind of explains relationship with father, and because this relationship with father, this is also how I act externally, how I act with my world, how I'm seen, even though there's other signs like the moon, are actually my internal, how I actually feel, what I actually want, and what I deeply desire. But you might not see those because my sun sign blocks it. This is like the sun sign, what people see usually first, second when they meet you. But yeah, I think that covers it all. Next video will probably be a psychology topic because this was pretty heavy. I know this is kind of a lot. I'm just glad I actually did this. I can't believe I did this. Crazy. So probably next topic of the human condition will be psychology. And then I'll do like astrology 101, psychology 101, philosophy 101, biology 101. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Leave a comment down below. Was it good? Was it not? Was this informative? Was this misinformation? Was it not? It's all opinion based, but some people think it's true. So you just gotta decide for yourself. If you think it's true, you probably will think it's true. If you don't, you probably won't. I probably didn't change your mind regardless. But disclaimer, if I said anything that hurt your feelings, I know I kind of roasted some of the signs. I'm sorry. But there's positives to every roast I give. So it's like, I might say Aries egocentric, but they're like really inspirational in a way because they show you I can be myself. They show other people you can be yourself. So even though they're self-serving sometimes, they can bring confidence to other people. And like Aquarius might not always be emotion based all the time, but what they do is for the greater good. So there's always a positive to each sign. So if I accidentally roasted your sign, I'm sorry, I take it back. There's a positive to it. I just didn't probably mention it. But I hope this was informative. I hope you found something new, something interesting that you didn't know. Next astrology segment, I'll talk about maybe the moon signs, the deep emotional depths, your relationship with your mother. Moon signs are pretty cool. They're like what you actually seek for in life and what you're actually going for, whereas sun signs kind of how you go for it, and ascendant signs the first thing that people see about you. So those are the three main things. Hope you enjoyed this video. Hope it didn't bore you. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good one.